Hey everyone, welcome back to Charlotte's Book Nook. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you my fall TBR for 2024. I'm really excited to read all these books, so make sure to comment down below if you've read them and if you'd recommend them yourself so we can talk books, because that's just what I love doing on this channel. Alright, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the video. Alright, so I own a few of these books. I got a few of them from the library, and then I have two more of them that I'm still waiting for from the library, so I'll just go ahead and put the image up here, or maybe this side, probably this side actually. And I'm just going to go ahead and go through them, tell you guys what they're about, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So the first book that I have on my fall TBR is The Mystery of Black Hollow Lane. I made a community post a few weeks ago asking for fall book recommendations, and this lovely subscriber commented that I should read this book. I looked into it and it looked really intriguing because it's basically about a girl who gets shipped off to a boarding school and has to solve a mystery, and there's weird connections and it looks a little bit spooky. I'm really excited for this because I've really wanted some boarding school book recommendations, and I cannot wait to read about it because I feel like there's something just so fun and magical about reading about a prestigious boarding school where they have to solve a mystery, or they're training to be princesses or something like that, and this just looks like the perfect fall read. This one will definitely be reading in October because it fits the vibe perfectly, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated on this one. So thank you again for recommending this to me. I am so excited to read it. The next book on my fall TBR is The Railway Children. This was recommended to me on a live by Mariah because I was talking about how I would love to live on a train or something, and she's like, well, that's kind of what these kids do. And they are shipped off from their London home to live in a cottage in the countryside, and that just sounds so cute, so cozy, kind of sounds a bit like The Secret Garden, and I'm just so excited to read this. And it's all about trains and their travels, and it is a classic, but it's also it's 230 pages, so super easy, and I'm just so excited. This little copy that I got from the library is just so cute. I cannot wait to read this with you guys as well. Next up, we have the Vanderbeekers Lost and Found. This series was one of my absolute favorites when I was little. It was this series and then the Vanderbeekers, but the Vanderbeekers had all come out when I was reading them, except the last one. That one came out while I was reading it, but this series only had 3 or 4 books. I can't actually remember if I read this one at all, so basically there's so many more books now. She just keeps making them, but she stopped. I think there's 7 of them, and I only remember the first 3 because I recently reread them. So I was at the library and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to read the rest of the series because of how much I loved it when I was younger, and I picked up this 4th book. It came out in 2020, so I don't think I read it, and I was looking through it, and it's all about autumn and their time in autumn and helping this homeless man who lives in the garden, and it just looked really interesting to me, and I'm so excited to get back into the series because it's so sweet, it's so cute. It's almost like the Vanderbeekers, but it is pretty much like the Vanderbeekers. I just don't have the emotional attachment to it that I do for the Vanderbeekers, but I still love the series so much, and this looks like the perfect one to read in autumn. Okay, so this giant book here is Beatrix Potter, The Complete Tales. So a few years ago for school, I had to do a report on Beatrix Potter, and I did a lot of research on her, and it was so much fun, and I loved getting to read her little stories. I would listen to the audiobook version of some of them on YouTube because they're just really soothing to me before bed. And when I saw this complete collection at my new library, I was like, I need to read this because it has all 30 something of her books or something in it, and I cannot wait. And I was looking through it and I was like, this is just the perfect little cozy before bed thing to read for fall. Her artwork is just absolutely stunning, and the little stories, they're I kind of want to say they're nursery rhymes, but I don't know, I just think the artwork is so pretty and the stories are so cute. If you think you don't know Beatrix Potter, trust me, you do. She wrote Peter Rabbit and those stories, and I'm just so excited to read this for fall, so I definitely recommend you read this too because I already know I love most of these stories. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and do the 2 books that I have not gotten from the library. The first one up here is the Spellshop. Maya Venice was talking about this. She said it was a cozy fall read, and the cover even looks like it, of some people living in the woods or something, and just about their life there. There wasn't much of a plot, but it looked really cozy, and I've been reading a lot of murder mystery or historical fiction where there's these high stakes plot, and it just looked like a cute little one to cozy up and read before bed or something, and it just looked like a lot of fun. So I don't don't really know too much about it, but I looked it up and it looks really clean, so I'm super excited to read that. And the other book up here, I'm not sure if I'll read it for sure, but it's Twilight. I've heard a lot of people talk about this one, so it looked cool, like something to read for fall. The last 3 books, it's kind of like 3.5, I'll explain in a minute, are going to be ones that I actually own. So the first one is Caraval. So I'm actually so scared to read this book because I hated Once Upon a Broken Heart. It was the lowest rating I've ever given to a book. So don't come at me in the comments, I'm begging you. So I'm really nervous to read this, but this one actually intrigues me more than Once Upon a Broken Heart, so I'm hoping that I like this one. It definitely looks like it's going to give those fall vibes, and I'm sure you guys already know what this one is about, but just in case you don't, it's basically, oh my goodness, there's a bookmark in here, that's crazy. It's basically kind of a backstory to Once Upon a Broken Heart, I think, about some of those characters, and they go to like the Caraval, which you can kind of tell is like a carnival, but there's like some things she's trying to do there to save her sister, and it looks really cool. Honestly, I don't know much about this, so this definitely isn't a recommendations video, but I do have one of those coming out after this one, so stay tuned for the fall recommendations. This is just the TBR, so maybe some of these will be on next year's recommendation video. Okay, and then we have Until Leaves Fall in Paris. Just look at how cute this cover is. I got this book for $4 at my bookstore. I don't know why it was so marked down because it is a popular Christian author, but it is a Christian World War II fiction book, and it looks absolutely amazing because it's basically takes place in Paris, which I love all things Paris, and it's about a ballerina, and I do dance and ballet and all that, so I feel like I'm gonna be able to connect to the character, and it looks so amazing. She's basically, she has this bookstore. Okay guys, this is literally me at this point, and she's like helping hide Jews there, or she buys the bookstore so the Jews can escape. The back kind of confuses me, like most historical fictions do for me until I start reading them, so I don't know much about this book, but I'm just so excited to read it. I mean, it's called Until Leaves Fall in Paris, so I feel like that would work well for the fall, but honestly I have a feeling it has nothing to do with fall. I'm just so excited to read it that I'll definitely be reading it in the fall. Okay, so the last 1.5 books are behind me, and I'll kind of explain that, but right here we have Snow and Rose. Now guys, this is the perfect fall read. I cannot recommend anything to you other than this. If you said recommend me one book for fall, it would be Snow and Rose. This is a middle grade retelling of Snow White and Red Rose. I talk about this so often on my channel, but just like look at the cover. How can it not remind you of fall? And the artwork is so pretty. Look at like the little like fall things before the chapters. Just so cozy. I read this last year in fall. I read it all in one day, which is like a big feat for me. So I'm so excited to read this again this year, and this book is for all ages. You could do it as a read aloud. It's just so cute, and I love this book so much. Okay, the last book or half a book is The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. So I feel like this is more of a book for the spring, but for some reason I started listening to an audiobook for the 3rd time, and honestly just listening to it, it's just so cozy and atmospheric that I feel like it works well for any season. When she's like in the mansion exploring, or when she's outside, it just gives fall. I know she's like planting a garden in some of it, but I feel like it's just such a good book for the fall, so I am currently rereading that on audio. Honestly, I feel like it gives more fall, but that's up to you guys. This one video isn't a recommendations video, it's just my TBR, but you probably will see this and Snow and Rose in my fall recommendations video. You kind of know that from me by now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed seeing the books that I plan to read this autumn. Comment down below the books that you guys are going to read this fall. I'm sure most of you have already started. I kind of start reading my fall books in October through November, which does like make no time at all for my Christmas books, but there's not as many, so that's okay. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and let's go ahead and cue the outro. Bye guys!